Energy low. Inventory full.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Survival Records. I have been just flush with the thought of how cool it is that I'm taking this ship that was a gunboat, some kind of a military craft, and I'm doing legitimate salvage on it, like on the Rocinante, where like taking off all the guns, stripping down all the armor, turning it into just a craft, just a ship. And man, I hope that it is as maneuverable and nimble as it could be with all this weight being taken off, all these gyros on it. I mean, dang. But while I've been doing this, my refineries have been working away to the point where now all that they have left is some magnesium. So I'm going to go do some mining, grab some more uranium ore. I have a pretty good amount of iron ingots, I think. Here? No. 68,000. And I'm getting more every time I add these in. So really, the only thing that prior to having found this ship, with all of its tanks that are mostly full, that'll hopefully get me out of the atmosphere, my thought had been find a platinum deposit somewhere on the planet, and use platinum to get myself up and off, and unfortunately, I don't think I have enough platinum. 2.56. Now, thruster component, here we go. That requires 0.4 platinum per. There's one thruster on here that was damaged. This one here. And it requires 12, so 12 times 4 is 48. So 4.8 platinum, and I had 2 point something, so I don't even have enough to finish that off. Yeah. Realized this was damaged. So, point being, I don't think platinum is an option. I don't think making ion thrusters to get up and out without all the ice is an option. So I'm gonna go with this, and I don't know, maybe I can find platinum elsewhere? Oh, you know where I might find some? The abandoned settlements occasionally have a shelf with thruster components on the shelf. I'm gonna see if I can go find one. Well, I found another one of these guns. I think they have platinum in them. I don't know how much though, and I don't know, well, don't really anything else about them. But that's the last of these buildings, and none of them had any of those shelves that I was talking about. Though this one, I hadn't really noticed it before, and what with the idea of going up into space and leaving behind my refineries, those are both refineries. They're basic refineries, they're smaller ones, but I don't know. Possible options. Other than that, I do have the large ore detector on this machine here. I don't know. I think what I ought to do is just head back. I am going to grab the what's it called? Set of solar panels, and then head back. Oh wait, I want to do this first. Ooh, that's no good. That's no good. Stop that. Okay. Can I grab onto the rotor? Okay. Alright. Guess just need to have hydrogen. Goodness, this is probably a little more complicated than it really needs to be. There. Oh. Dang it, I thought I was grabbing that. Well, I lost the rotor, but I ought to be able to grab this. Now, you might be wondering why I'm bothering with these solar panels, and you're probably right to ask, because I don't know why I'm bothering with the solar panels. Other than that, I like solar panels, and I don't have a blueprint for them. I might, I don't know, I always have visions of, like, making these big, elaborate, unfolding solar panel arrays, but really, I mean, I have uranium. But the uranium is down here on this planet, which is not the easiest planet to get on and off of, just because there's no way to refuel when you're down here. So ideally, you'd have to bring enough fuel with you down in order to be able to leave again if you were coming back here to refill on some uranium. Now, I know uranium is not exactly the heaviest or the hardest to produce, but, I mean, if I could get something going on the back of this explorer craft, this exit craft, the escape vehicle, that, like, had all of these smaller panels on them attached in a way that they, like, unfolded and produced power when I was, like, coasting. Because, I mean, I don't have a jump drive, so who knows how far it is to get to there. I think that'd be neat. Alright, speaking of uranium, I'm going to go do some mining. And see if anything else pops up as an alternative to this gun. Let's check on the gun's platinum potential. Dang, I think I might get 4 platinum out of this thing. That's what I needed to make the 12 thruster modules. Hot diggity. Wait, why? No, I want you to do that. Izzy's inventory manager is not going to let me finish doing this, is it? It's going to, like, think, oh, no, you don't actually want that. Thank you. Now, over here, I don't want... production, no. No. Ignore that. And ignore that. Now. No. Okay. 10, 11, 12. Why did it drop to 6? Come on already. Oh, it moved it to 6 because it's sharing them with the other one. Alright, okay. Well, this was quite distracting. I came here meaning to do some mining because I want stuff to process while I'm working on the big ship, so... let's, top off here, see if these thruster components, and the issue with this stuff is I don't want it to turn the rest of that platinum into those thruster components because it may not need to be thruster components. And I don't have an easy way of turning them back to what they were. Thruster components. And got all 12 of them. And here we go. That is all of the ion thrusters on this thing that are still attached, which I don't think I've seen any places where they would have been detached or destroyed entirely. But they're all up and running again. I guess there is one spot down in here where it seems pretty clear that there's a bunch of smaller hydrogen thrusters that were like probably in an array here, maybe 2 by 3 on either side. I can replace all that. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But first things first, let's go grab some more uranium ore. Alright, I'm back in the iron mine, digging it fresh for the umpteenth time, and I just got this message from the Guramis, that one that's 2.5 kilometers away, and I'm up in the mountain now. I'm up at a higher elevation, so if that thing comes over the top of me, it might get close enough to want to throw up a some drones. Now, obviously, I'd be safe from the drones inside the cave here, but it's definitely something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. And next, I wanted to point out the uranium vein here. As you see, it's going kind of up against the wall here. It's at a lower elevation down there than it is up here. Something that a lot of people don't seem to know about the ore veins in Space Engineers, that they always follow the same elevation map as the terrain itself does. They're just a certain distance below the ground. Like in this case, I'm about 100 meters below the ground right now. So this vein of uranium is going to go up the mountain, up the hill, at the same angle as the terrain does above me. Which is not necessarily obvious to some people. I know a lot of people like build big plungy piston-like mining ships where they punch a big hole in the ground straight below them. But the ore itself isn't oriented in that direction, so I kind of find it odd to do that as the orientation of your... I find it better, personally, for myself, to orient my ship and my drills so that I can maintain the downward thrust that I'll be using to support my weight, as well as push into the ore vein, not having to make repeated punch holes. But I do like the idea of... yeah, that Garamus. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep an eye out if another ship comes up. One of the little drones. Anyway, as I was saying, it's an interesting idea to make a drill that drills down into the ground to get the ore, but one of these days when I have all my blueprints available of my pistons and my everything, I'll make a drill that goes into the ground and then fans out horizontally. I think that'd be interesting. So as you see here, I ended up finding the edge of that vein. The pocket itself is like a large field area, but the specific patches are kind of like a checkerboard pattern throughout. So keep an eye out for that too.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Well, I have stripped away quite a lot of this back armor plating, including this piece here, which I need to try and grab onto somehow. And speaking of which, it is just occupying a lot of space on the ground there, so let's bring it back to the scrap heap and drop it off. Really wish I had grinders, ship grinders, like a little grinding pit to drop the stuff off into. That'd be cool. But, you know, loose armor plating back here in the scrap heap. That could be cool too. Alright, here I go. Well, that's a lot better. I'll pick up the rest of those by hand. You know, noticing here, there's a thruster missing right there, and then probably another one missing there, and then like 2 missing up here. Maybe even some more missing inside. That's... Obviously, I had not noticed that. Now, I do have the blueprint for ion thrusters. I just don't have I don't have the platinum like we were talking about earlier. So we'll have to see. Anyway, back to the grind. You know, speaking of grinding, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Currently, I'm just using the hydrolysis machines in this thing to help turn ice into hydrogen. But I don't know. I might keep it. I don't know. Maybe I could do something like a little merged on deployment ship, something that I could use to go do some mining. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have another good way to deal with that. Like, there's no... I don't like the idea of bringing a large grid refinery with me. And I do know that there are mods out there that add small grid refineries. So, yes, I'm aware. You don't have to recommend those. I don't think I like them for the same reason I don't like any of the other things that, you know, make small grid versions of these things, like a small grid hyperdrive or a small grid medical bay or something like that. I feel like there ought to be a reason why there's a differentiation between large and small grid. I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with the idea that I cannot refine ore while I'm up in space in this thing, in the Frenida. Which will be an interesting thing to figure out. Alright, back to grinding. I think to make things easier for me, I'm just going to go ahead and detach all of the guns on the top here and collect them over with the rest of the scrap. The hitbox on this this thing, it's wonky. It makes them float a little weird. Anyway, I think I might actually weld these guys up because some of them have missiles in them, I think. But that's going to be a side project. Let's keep working on slicing off this armor plating. Next big chunk I think I could probably get is this one here. But I do want to leave the camera in place, and leaving things like cameras, these green stalks over here. The green is where I've placed a frame lock to hold something else up. A little silly, I know, but I want to keep those lights where they are because they're part of the original ship. Why not? Anyway, down in here, looks like there's a slice back through that turns into regular light armor block once you get inside a little ways. So I'm going to probably leave most of that in place. Then, like, back here, yeah, here's the heavy armor block. So let's see where I can cut it. To literally cut it. To cut it off. Something like this. This, cutting off chunks is a lot more entertaining for me than what I was doing earlier, which was the oh, what's it called? Just grinding everything. So yeah, all right. Those are light armor blocks connected to the connector. Probably cut it up right through here. That light armor block is holding on that light bulb, so let's keep that one intact. But we could probably do away with that one. And then here we've got one keeping that camera in place. And then this one. And then, yeah, the one above that one. There we go. Now, I'm going to cut this one off. Yeah, the rest on the bottom should fall. In fact, why don't I just do that?
Inventory full. Inventory full.
There. And grab those, and that's the process. A little easier to do it from above, now that I've taken the chunk off from below. So here. So I think I need that one for the camera. And up here, got a big chunk that can come off on this side. Looks like if I cut off that, something big will fall away. It's probably not this, so let's grab those out. Put this back. There we go. Well, I don't know if you like hearing me say, and there we go, over and over again. But I wouldn't imagine it would be very entertaining. So I'll go back to doing it as a time lapse.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
Alright, I think that's the last of the turrets on this thing. They were oddly positioned, and I think one of the things that happens is these guns are classified by like a type, and they're randomly distributed. Because, like, see the connection port right there? There was a missile turret here. Missiles can't go through small tubes. On this side, there's a connection port right there. An autocannon turret was here. The autocannon only has a port on the bottom. So clearly, those two side pieces were intended for Gatling turrets, I'd guess. Anyway, dismantling things over here quite a bit. We've got a line of decoy blocks on the sides here. I can appreciate those. I'm leaving them in place along with some of the decorative covering on it. Starting to punch through to where, like, on the other side of this wall here is the cryopods. In fact, that's what these junctions here are for. So, I don't know if I mean, I certainly don't need 4 cryopods for my own devices. But, like... oh, I bet you I could take the floor out and drop them out through the floor. That could work. If I want to commit to, you know, to taking out the cryopods. Choices. Alright. It's always awkward the way you look when you're climbing up a ladder like that. Anyway, I am in here because I wanted to get this guy parked off someplace else for a moment. So put this on stockpile. That should be more than enough. And there we go. Now, I don't actually want to use up all of the thruster on this. I just didn't want to have it plugged in there anymore while I was working. Which actually, why don't I plug it into the base proper? Well, because there's a mining vehicle already parked there. That thing's using up hydrogen while I wait. Let's move it proper and... oh, my reverse thrusters worked. Alright. I wanted to move this guy over and have him put these the little spikes of flame that these hydrogen thrusters give off. It's really quite a good visual thing, yeah? Alright, anyway, that's attached. Let's put these guys back on stockpile, and we can see how much we actually have. Alright. Now that's going to empty over there. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I feel like, ouch, we are at a spot where we can see how much progress we've made. And with that, like that. Wow. Alright. 432,000 kilograms. I have shaved off over 300,000 kilograms of this project so far. I mean, I don't know why I'd be so surprised. That makes perfect sense that there was, you know, that much weight was in the armor. Anyway, let's finish it off. I got basically just this side here to do, and you know, having already done it once on this side, I am aware of you know, where all the cut points are, so to speak. Cool. Let's finish it off.
That is one big pile.
Scrap iron plating. Anyway, yeah, it is. There's a lot here. Look at all this junk. Oh, now I really wish I had grinders for the ship. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm done. I mean, there are a few little bits and pieces left over, but take a look at this thing. I'm really happy with how this project has come along. Like, just taking it down. I've maintained everything on the inside so far. I still have to decide how much of this, if any of it, that I want to cull out. Like, I could slim this down quite a bit. Move those batteries further in, get rid of this as a secondary room with the cryopods, because I don't need cryopods. I did have one thought. These gravity balls there might be there to counteract the weight of these the gyros here. That being said, I'm not sure why there are 612 gyros over there when there are so many gyros up top. But anyway, you can press Control to change where you're looking while you're on a ladder. It's just pressing an extra button to do that. It's just annoying. So let's see, what else do I show you? Up here, these guns. Yeah, it's not. Whatever program is used to replace guns here, I'm just not sure that whole nose assembly is going to be viable. It needs to be ammo that can filter through small grid, and you know, missiles are not one of those things. But anyway, I am now going to check for the first time what the weight of this thing is. You'll notice underneath I did accidentally grind off the landing gear, and that was rather scary. So I had to put on a new landing gear, which means that this probably was where, yeah, the landing gear was. Where's the new landing gear? That one. Alright, but first, let's unlock. And now let's... Oh wait, no, that was auto lock on off. That's silly of me. Switch lock. Locked. 8. $300,000. That is so much better. Now I'm sinking because the weight of the ramp on the front is not being taken into consideration. I also have incredibly little thrust to the left and to the right. I've got tons of downward thrust. And if you'll notice, I've got 89% on the tanks there. So let's level her out again. Bring her back, and I'm gonna reattach. But yeah, 300,000 is a lot better position to be working in. Alright, I'm resting on my landing gear. I want to bring myself up. I'm going to get myself leveled. I guess that is one thing I definitely have here is a lot of maneuverability with those gyroscopes. And let's jump back a little. Ready to lock. Ready to go. And that's not even all of the ice. There's still a little bit left to go here. Not a ton, though I'm sure I could get over 90% if I wanted to. And there's that boulder over there that I haven't emptied out yet. But I think I'm going to end the episode here tonight, guys. It's this has been a big, fun project, chopping all this stuff off. Got a little tedious at some points, but yeah, worthwhile. So, yeah, I am now going to, start working on putting it back together. Putting a skin back on it. Figuring out how I want it to look. I think I might have to make some serious decisions about where things are oriented and connected. Yeah. I'll have to do some thinking, that's for darn sure. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the latest episode of Survival Records here in Space Engineers on the Caldera planet in the Igneous scenario. And thanks for watching.
Inventory full.